Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Links with Friends. Today is November 21st. The turkey countdown is flashing red now, and we're doing robots and nonsense for the end of the week.
And the robot story of the week was this JP Morgan study that came out, and they looked at some very unpleasant numbers, which, it's like, okay, AI, is it in a bubble? Well, let's see. How much does every person using it need to pay in order to keep this elevated valuation? And the numbers are quite shocking.
JP Morgan calls out AI spend, says $650 billion in annual revenue required to deliver a mere 10% return on AI buildout, equivalent to $35 payment from every iPhone user or $180 from every Netflix subscriber in perpetuity.
That is not every iPhone user in America.
That's the planet.
That's every iPhone user.
There's actually, we could probably spend a few minutes talking about this kind of thing, because if you look at like when the Industrial Revolution happened, the planetary GDP also exploded. So there is a component of this that is like the amount of available money and value went up tremendously. But I think the other thing that this report misses entirely is how good local AI models are. Like, you don't need to pay a lot of money for shockingly good AI. Like, if you were subscribed to like ChatGPT 3 or 3.5, you can run that locally now for nothing, for free, and it's fine. And it seems like the free and open models and the academic research models are improving at a faster rate than the things that are closed, that you can spend money on behind a paywall. So the JP Morgan thing, like, I think that there would be a stock market collapse if people realize how good local AI is, because it would slow things down a lot.
But the other thing about the Industrial Revolution is it was ravenous for human labor. Like, look at Henry Ford in the assembly line. He desperately he was pulling people off of farms. AI is doing the opposite. So
There's going to be a lot of unemployed people looking for something to do.
AI is pulling the gaming GPUs out of the gaming systems. It is pulling the electricity out of, the crappy gas generators, the jet engines, which are not making nice, clean electricity.
And it is putting power into the hands of insane people.
Palantir CEO says surveillance state is preferable to China winning the AI race.
Says man who sells software that is the surveillance state.
It is like I've been, reading this. I'm getting a more complete picture about folks like this. It seems to me, and I don't know, like, what do you guys think? It seems like folks like this think that the path toward a higher trust society is being able to surveil and immediately remove all of the quote-unquote undesirable elements of society.
Wait, you think that?
I think that's what they think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that. I was like, you think that? That's crazy people talk.
I think, well, I assume some of these people are smart enough to know that that's not going to work. And it would have to be a two-tier system. I think what he thinks is that's the path to make him the most money.
Yeah.
And so
I'll never be in that lower tier. That'll never happen to me.
No, because he's already far beyond the law with the level of money he has, right? He also mentioned a lot of his interviews lately, they're like, what exactly does Palantir do? Because nobody understands. And he's like, we are the GDP of America. Like, that's where his head is at. And it's kind of true at the moment, but that's a really, like, dangerous thing.
Well, he can't say out loud what they actually do, which is surveil all Americans.
No. In his mind, yes, but in his mind, it is, we are the only source of truth. And it's like, I need to figure out if this, politician did this. And it's like, yes, here's your source of truth. And it's like, is this person's motive to do this that they earnestly want to improve society? Or is this like a long con game in order to supplant this or disrupt that? And it's like, oh, Palantir has all of the information in order to make that determination from its database. We can just go look at their movements over the last 75 years or whatever. And there's been crazy stuff that's come out of that. Like, it's like at this random event, it's like, why are there 7,000 phones from this particular okay, there were 7,000 people in the crowd, and there were like 12 people that were on the State Department list of like registered foreign spies for this one country. And it's like, oh, we've been wanting to do this for years and we've never been able to do this, which is why they've been given such a lot of leeway.
And if you're wondering what his version of the future looks like, you don't have to go far because we're already living it, and it's not perfect.
AI alert system mistook students' Doritos for a gun. We covered that last week.
This is a different one.
Has shut down another school with the exact same scenario.
This makes me so angry.
Well, there's no human being that really is like, it's like, oh, because it really
Doritos spotted, send in the SWAT. Cool Ranch detected.
Doritos could probably turn this into an amazing tongue-in-cheek marketing thing, but it's also really traumatizing for the people involved.
Yeah.
Also, the article is really idiotic for not considering the situations. Like, suppose you're the person that is concerned with the human review of this. You look at it and you're like, clearly, that is the thing of Doritos. But what if you're wrong? Do you want to be the person that's like...
Might as well send the SWAT team in.
Well, but look at that screenshot, because I don't think they wait for lockdown checkmark. Like, I think the lockdown happens before something like that goes down. So they just assume it's real because, like you say, if you don't, what is your liability once they find out that you had some information?
That looks like Discord, like a modified version of Discord.
And as we move into the AI-controlled future, a lot of people are against it, and they're sort of like fighting the future, trying to resist it. I don't know if it's going to be the horsewhip crowd eventually. But the thing is, are you able to tell the difference?
Want to know about the AI-generated country song topping Billboard's country digital song sales chart?
So this is hiccup.
The first time I read this, I thought it was like the literal just country music chart, but... maybe this is like a separate chart and that's not as impressive.
It's pop country, like that kind of...
I didn't listen to it. Did you?
I listened to it, yeah. Okay. It's basically like... it's not country music like old style country. It's like that new...
But I don't think there's a lot of old style country music right now.
No,
right?
not on the charts, no. I'm sure if you're a music executive and you're like, I just want more of the same slop we've been putting out, this is great.
Which is kind of what we're getting from real people too, right?
Yeah, because that's what's financially...
Yeah. How much of... these artists are actually just the producer anyway, and it's all homogenized. I think that's why this can be so successful, because we're just used to the same slop. Great name for an AI artist, though, Breaking Rust. So, Walk My Walk, if you want to check that out. And so many of you might be thinking, wait a minute, I love that song. I didn't know it was AI. You're not alone.
Are you listening to bots? A survey shows AI music is virtually undetectable. And what really has record labels upset is that they were not the first people here, which is delightful.
I think it was 97% or no, 73%. No, I'm sorry. There's so many percentages in here. Yeah. 97% didn't know the difference. 73 wanted to be told after they found out. They were like, oh, I can't tell the difference. Yeah, you should tell me. And then it was like in the 40s, people who thought that you shouldn't allow it at all. So
I
people
hate
don't know.
both the bot and also the music industry, and I just want the musicians to be paid for their work.
I think those days are over.
Yeah, I think so too, unfortunately.
And if you have been intimate with ChatGPT in the last couple of years, well, some bad news for you.
OpenAI fights over order to turn over millions of ChatGPT conversations. This has to do with their New York Post lawsuit or New York Times?
Yeah.
New York Times lawsuit. Now, the lawyer for the New York Times, I think, is a little disingenuous here because he calls out, they did a blog post and they were like, this is why this is bad for users. And it's really just a last Hail Mary. And the guy from the New York Post says, this is all protected by the court. There's not a privacy implication because blah, blah, blah. But OpenAI's position was that they never logged this kind of stuff in the first place until they were required to log it, and now they're required to turn it over to look and see how people are using it. If it's like, hey, ChatGPT, go steal the New York Times' articles, and to what extent does that occur?
And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they lost that appeal already.
Yeah.
It's happening. So.
Yeah, the logging is happening. Yeah.
Well, no, I think the turnover is happening. I think it's scheduled.
Yeah.
Double check me on that. And ChatGPT has found another way to expose your chats, not just to the New York Times, but to just random webmasters.
Oddest ChatGPT leaks yet. Cringey chat logs found in Google Analytics tool. So I think this was Google Analytics spillover from, if you use the URL to share your chat, then that gives the internet at large access to your chat. And so somehow people are accidentally doing that or on purpose doing that. And it's picked up by Google.
I thought it was ChatGPT going to the web and those webmasters being set up with Google so they can see what search query brought them to their site, right?
Yeah.
And so ChatGPT was like, I don't really know what to think about this. Let me search and get some details. And that ends up going into whatever site it searches. There was a funny one in there. Most of them were about, like, how do I know if my boyfriend's cheating or something like that.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. But yeah, read the article. There's some funny ones they got in there in terms of the things that people were searching for or talking to.
Can I be forced to pay a fine for someone having an affair with me in North Carolina?
I wonder if there's a lot of web data about that. And the AI, the biggest problem with AI is the sycophancy, and that's more and more becoming obvious. And it's so bad that you literally cannot tell it not to do it. It is ingrained in the very nature of the thing.
Researchers surprised that with AI, toxicity is harder to fake than intelligence.
Remember Tay? That's all I could think about reading this article was like how toxic, and it's like how far we've come.
She turns out she's the holy grail for simulating a real simulated human.
Yeah, Tay was like raw condensation.
That was 4chan distilled into a bot. Yeah.
So this is whenever they figured out that AI just will not be mean to you, it will not be realistic with you, and because other people on the web will, you can sometimes spot who's the AI.
I'm being mean to you not because I'm being mean, but because I'm trying to be authentic.
That might be a new thing where we have to just insult each other at the beginning and end of every conversation.
Oh, that'd be an interesting linguistic thing to notice.
And AI slop. It's everywhere, and people are getting tired of it.
FFmpeg has told Google, fund us or stop sending bugs. And this is because some of the bugs that Google had sent were questionable. AI tools have been used to find some of these bugs. They are mostly real bugs, but like one of the example bugs they had was the amount of time that it displaced dealing with security vulnerabilities around an FFmpeg routine to process video elements from like an old video game. And it's like apparently that wasn't perfect. And it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, technically this, but is anybody actually using this? Is this real? Like, what's going on with this?
Yeah, I get it. And AI is going to capture all of our personalities, all of our voices, all of our likenesses, and it's going to use them. And maybe the smart people who can are going to get what they can out of that before it happens.
Matthew McConaughey and Michael Caine are licensing their voices to AI.
Ew.
Yeah, this is. I mean, but if I can have Michael Caine voice over a video for me and it's like $8, I'll pay it.
Now, Michael Caine's probably doing this because he's getting older. Probably not going to be out there doing as much. Matthew McConaughey's doing it because he owns the company. Yeah. Which is a weird for him to be into. Like, do you think the other actors are going to be a little salty about that?
Didn't he? Was he also one of the ones who was like hawking coins back in the day and NFTs?
I don't remember.
Not as hard as Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And last week we learned that one of the soccer coaches a losing streak soccer coach resorted to talking to AI. Now we have a new one.
Struggling NHL coach turns to ChatGPT as Calgary Flames search for answers. And apparently, like, they won a couple of games from ChatGPT's advice.
Who cares about winning or losing? Hockey is about fighting.
Still doing very terrible. He pasted statistics into ChatGPT, and some people sort of responded, and they were like, hey, bro, that's not what ChatGPT does. It doesn't analyze numbers like that very well. So whatever it said to you, I mean, I know it gave you an answer, but it's always going to give you an answer. It's going to be a good one, yeah. And we know the lawyers are doing it. We know the lawmakers are doing it. Now the coaches are doing it, and the newspapers.
Embarrassment. Pakistani newspaper publishes ChatGPT prompt in business report and sparks criticism. If you want, I can also create an even simple and snappier front page style version. It's like, oh no.
They didn't even read it. Oh, you gotta read it. How long does it take to read your own article? We read dozens of these things every week. And some of them are very poor.
Yeah. So that's the paywall alternative, but.
And the game companies certainly are at the forefront of getting rid of everybody, letting AI do it. One of the perennial favorites is Fallen Victim.
Krafton has launched a voluntary resignation program for employees as it transforms itself into a quote-unquote AI-first company.
I thought Blue Hole was the PUBG publisher.
I thought so too.
Did they sell it? Oh, how they've fallen.
It's also wild that a PUBG quality game or a DayZ quality game these days could be produced by a team of like 2 or 3 people.
How many people have made Vane?
That's what he's talking about.
Oh, was it 2? Oh, okay.
It's very small. And it does, I mean, it's a little asset flippy, a little janky, but it's fine.
It's a fun game.
Yeah.
As if PUBG isn't janky. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And yeah, this one's all about the video.
Russia's AI robot falls seconds after being unveiled.
Let's get the big moment here.
AI doll.
Oh. I like how he tries to keep walking once he falls.
Yeah.
The other humanoid robots are aware of their positioning,
Yeah.
not this guy. And then they pull the no, don't look.
Don't look.
Don't
look.
It's like
It's all
weird,
twisted. He's
up.
messed it up.
Rough. That's a rough one. And we have more robots that are potentially going to kill you by accident.
Waymo robotaxis are now giving rides on freeways in LA, San Francisco, and Phoenix. But can you get a Waymo to give you a ride from LA to San Francisco, and what would that cost?
Yeah, I think you can because that was the limiting factor, right? Like there's the coverage area. I don't know. That's a lot of high speeds.
There's somebody sometimes on these trips that I travel with that has gotten really good at scheduling the pickup from the airport, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, my ride is going to be there maybe slightly before I get there, and like as they get there, like the robotaxi also gets there, and it's like that is insane because there's just no waiting. Like it literally arrives as they get there.
And driving cars is not the only thing we want AI to do, but generally you have to build like a very specific case for that. We don't have the general LLM that can do it, but they're trying to change it.
Anthropic's Claude takes control of a robot dog, and it did okay.
But the interesting thing here was this wasn't about really controlling the dog. This was about trying to figure out if AI can be good at controlling the dog. And what they found, they took a control group with no AI access, and they took a group with Claude code, and who did better at the dog? Of course, they're probably a little biased, but they claim that the Claude code team did better. And it was mostly around easing the frustration, because you got to imagine working with one of these robots. You've never done it before, and there's a lot of documentation that you're going to have to pour through, little things you're going to have to find and discover, and apparently Claude was really good at working that out for him. And this looks cool. As someone who's getting older, I suspect one day I'm going to need something like this.
Walk Me, Toyota stuns the world with a robot chair that walks, climbs, and folds itself. It's only 3 legs. Was it 3 legs or it's 4?
That's 4.
That's 4, yeah.
Yeah, this seems like something out of like a Bond villain.
So you can see there's like a gimbal here on the seat. So no matter whether it's going uphill or upstairs or whatever, it keeps you perfectly flat and supports you.
It's like the equivalent of the staircase,
Yeah,
elevator
and
thing.
it can just crawl right up
Yeah.
the stairs and keep you. They do have a video, but the thing about the video is no one ever sat in it in the video.
Kind of makes it not much of a demo, huh? Yeah.
Or maybe they did at the very end. I didn't watch all of it, but I was like, when are you guys going to get in the seat? That's what I want to see. And Elon Musk is you cannot have him do a press release without him saying something insane. And he did not disappoint this week.
Elon says that his robots are going to follow criminals around or would-be criminals and make sure that they never offend again.
So they're going to follow him around, right? He's okay with that.
What does this mean? We don't know. It sounded like he thought instead of incarceration, you would just be shadowed by a robot assigned by the government.
Assigned by him, because, he's the arbiter.
And I don't know how exactly that would prevent.
That would be more valuable to the economy. And it's like, all right, we're going to give you a choice. We're going to throw you in a hole, or you're going to have this low-wage job, and the robot follows you around.
It's gonna be rough for dating, right? Kind of like, you know,
What's that robot here for?
It's my giant ankle monitor.
Yeah, it's an ankle. You're describing an ankle monitor.
That's way worse than having, you know, your your potential partner get in your car and finding the thing you have to blow in, the interlock device. But instead, there's a robot in the back seat. And F's in the chat. Pour one out. She has been robbed.
Kim Kardashian did not pass her bar exam, according to TMZ. And she blames ChatGPT, and also apparently some hired psychics said she was going to pass for sure. And she didn't pass.
Maybe she needs to get up off her ass and fucking work,
But
to
it's-
quote herself.
That's so hard because it's so big.
She's been trying to take the bar for years, and she has not passed it, I think, ever.
But this was going to be the time.
This was it. Yeah.
psychic
ChatGPT and the psychic told me it was going to be the one.
Mercury was in retrograde. We were ready. And one of the most insane things about our economy is that we produce coins that are worth less than their constituent parts, but no more.
U.S. ends the penny-making run after more than 230 years. We have devalued our currency to the point that a penny is worth nothing. Nothing. A nickel isn't even worth anything.
And pro tip, if you want to shave some pennies off of your budget, most restaurants and fast food places have announced they will round down. So carefully calculate your purchase to get that 4 cents.
You'll get so many returns on that. It's going to be so worth it.
And Krista's favorite Middle
Meow.
Eastern project is perhaps predictably running into some issues.
Saudi Arabia's dystopian futuristic city project is crashing and burning, apparently not after spending $50 billion.
Was it worth it to displace all those people? I submit that it perhaps was not.
100%. One of the big features that they've had to cancel is they were planning on doing a building that hung like a Christmas ornament from a giant tower. And no one until now was willing to push back and say, you know, high towers actually move, right?
Yeah, there's wind at that
And
elevation.
there would be a pendulum force that would it would swing more and more as it went in the desert winds. And so a lot of these people describe that MBS, the leader over there, it feels like kind of like a communist China type of thing. Like no one wants to give him the bad news. So everybody's just pretending.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Going. But it does not seem realistic.
I just don't understand. Like, I can't fathom being that so insulated from reality.
I know that's wild,
but-
right?
but
And
that
having
was-
that much power.
That
Yeah.
was a reasonable budget for building a city. Like, just tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, it could have been a great city.
Yeah. A reasonable city, walkable with shops, places for people to live.
It was designed to be people first and mass transit first, like that.
Except it's not when it's a giant line.
Yeah.
Like, fundamentally, it needs to be circular.
I don't know. There was one. I read an interesting critique about if you did it as a line, you could have tracks on the on the outside edges of it. That depending on how far away you needed to go, it's like that's going to be 3 tracks over because it doesn't stop. And so like you get on the one that's going to go really far, and then you come in one and go back the other way, and it's slower. And so like if you need to get somewhere in a hurry, you go in the track that's farther away. But if you needed to go somewhere that's closer, you get it in a closer track.
You could do the same thing with concentric circles and it'd be like 100% better.
Yeah, just circles. That's the airport design. A lot of times when they design the terminals, it's almost always more efficient if it's somewhat circular.
Like this, yeah.
Yeah.
You can get through the. But it's like start with a very, very absurdly large circle as opposed to, letting it grow organically.
Well, by the time you guys watch this, will it be
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving week? when I
Yeah,
watch
by
this?
Friday. It's Friday. It's Thanksgiving. Everyone's in a turkey coma watching
Oh,
this.
so it's
it'll be the 21st.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay,
what I was
never mind.
thinking, right? So you got 1 week. Now you might be thinking, there's nothing that could get me out for Black Friday. Why would I go into that madness? I would never do that. I'm just going to sit at home and enjoy myself. Well, let me give you another argument because this is going to be released on that day.
Lego: The Final Frontier, Star Trek's first set, beams down 3,600 pieces. It's the good old
Is there a picture of
Enterprise
this one?
1701D.
There it is.
Look at that.
You get all the little figures. What's the little tiny one?
They are not to scale.
Oh, that's Data's cat.
Oh,
Nice. I think I know somebody who might have this under their Christmas tree.
and probably in the background of his set in the office.
Yeah. It looks cool. I wonder what it'll cost. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Right?
$400.
Yes, at least.
It's going to be wild.
Those really
oh,
big
$3.99. Wow.
Wow. That's the Rivendell set, I think, was something crazy like that.
That is something else.
That's kind of a lot to pay for Legos.
Yeah, it is.
You're tempted. Don't pretend that you're not tempted.
Quietly takes money out of wallet.
Patreon and Float. And some people are in this age of, the machines taking over. They're trying to get back to nature, but there's always going to be creeps.
Yeah.
The headline, just what is wrong with humanity? So the polar opposites. Star Trek is the aspirational, and then we have this.
The reality.
Fetishists infiltrate group promoting barefoot living.
I bet there was some foot stuff going on that holodeck.
Oh.
So, yeah, these people have a group on Facebook, and they have now had to ban just feet pics. The bare feet have to be in the context of the full body shot, or they will be deleted because there have been too many creeps soliciting for more photos when only feet pics are shown. And how bad are things in the school system? Well, they just keep getting worse, and the data is really playing out.
1 in 5 students entering UC San Diego cannot write properly, new data reveals.
Now, remember, in the Euro section on Monday, we saw 1 in 4 of the UK children could not read properly.
That was coming out of what, 5th grade? Elementary
Primary? I
school?
think it was
Yeah,
primary.
whatever that is for them.
So, yeah, they're doing slightly better than we are, but none of it's good.
This is going to be a population that expects to be told like what to do and like how to do things, and the people in power will not be able to help themselves and will create a very bad situation for those people.
I would say that they created this situation.
I think it's bad.
Yeah. they don't want you to have to think. They're like, yeah, let's get those kids into worker bees.
And if you didn't know, there are, is it 2 or 3 CRISPR babies that are out there right now?
I think it was 3, right?
Was it 3?
Wasn't
Yeah.
it twins and then another one that was born?
Who are presumably 100% immune to HIV, otherwise normal, and just out there with a superpower. That was, a man went to jail for that. You're not allowed to do that. But some people are saying, why not?
Genetically engineered babies are banned, but tech titans are trying to make one anyway.
So this is Sam Altman, his significant other, and
Of
a
course.
couple of other big CEOs. They are looking at doing the same kind of thing, and they have found a couple who has the genetics for this horrible disease, and they're like, hey, we want to test this
You're
on you.
poor and desperate, and we're willing to give you money.
And apparently they are interested because I'm sure there's a large dollar sign. But they're going to have to make it so that it's not illegal. Which they
Oh,
probably
so they'll
can.
just throw out $1 million, and then suddenly they get what they want.
And for those of you who are looking at all this and saying, when is the end going to come? Just wash us all away. We're ready. Well, we're getting closer, maybe.
Sun unleashes the strongest solar flare of 2025, sparking radio blackouts across Africa and Europe. Yeah, this one actually showed up on the internet a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yep, that was a big one. And it wasn't pointed right at us, but we got like
Enough of it that you could see the northern lights where we are in Kentucky.
Literally was the aurora borealis at this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country.
And in San Francisco, they are having a bit of a crime problem. And they tried the whole lock everything and make an employee accompany you. That's obviously not feasible. So now they got a new plan.
At this SF grocery store, you can't leave unless you buy something.
That's crazy. We used to go to Safeway when I was a kid.
I mean, if this is the alternative to people robbing the store blind,
That's like a normal grocery store. It's the equivalent of like a Kroger on the West Coast.
So you can go in. If you pay through the regular checkout, they have regular doors you can get out. But if you go through the self-checkout, you literally cannot leave. You can't enter the self-checkout area, change your mind, and walk out. You must scan your receipt. And this one is interesting. I mean, this was certainly a bad thing to do. They destroyed something.
Caused
But
damage.
It was
It's not destroyed.
it was a terrible something, and it was overpriced, and it was probably money laundering.
Australian teen charged over allegedly sticking googly eyes on blue blob artwork. So they had to take the googly eyes off, hence the damage.
Look at the damage.
It ripped the paint.
Literally like 50 cents worth of paint. Although you might have to match it though, because it's withered, right? This guy, take a look at him. There he is. He costs $90,000.
Have you seen? This is a local interest story. The city near us, Lexington. They had a public artwork made. Can you guess the price on it?
Oh, I remember reading a story about that. Yeah, it was like hundreds of thousands, right?
Like $900,000. And it's not even a local artist, and it's not even unique to the city.
But of course, Lexington doesn't have any other problems that need to be solved with money. So.
Yeah, well, I guess it was like part of the park fund, and people were like, "Why didn't we put like benches or like a water pad
Plant
for
some
kids to
trees."
play?" Yeah,
Trees are expensive.
There's 1,000. Yeah, so was this giant. It looks like anal beads. It looks terrible. This giant sculpture, but anyway.
I got to think that's some kind of hustle, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
In both cases.
Yeah.
For sure. And here's a sad animal story.
Local police chief sues the owners of the dogs he shot. Prosecutors say no criminal charges will be filed.
So he was not acting as a policeman. He was just strolling around. And these dogs got out. And he claims they bit him. I think maybe something is on camera. They might have actually bit him. And he shot them in retaliation. Killed one and damaged the other. But that wasn't enough for him. He's now going to sue the owners. I'm kind of torn on this one because people do need to control their dogs.
Yeah. The fact that he's a cop, bad optics though.
Yeah, really. Because it's such a stereotype.
It really is.
And plus, they're such small dogs. Like, if you're an able-bodied cop, could you not have settled that without the firearm? Also, they checked his wounds, and there was no broken skin or teeth marks. But there were some marks.
I think he just ran up and nibbled him or something, like excited.
Maybe not as bad as he made it out to be. But at the same time, like, if a dog is attacking you, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen cats and dogs get excited, and they're not attacking you, but they are nibbling at you.
Yeah, Rue does the nib. When she's really excited, she'll do like the little nibble. She doesn't bite, but she like nibbles.
But can you take that chance?
Yeah, I guess if you don't know the dog, yeah.
And economically, we are now shifting into two economies, one economy for the poors and one economy for the rich. And most of the good things in the world are going to the rich, obviously, and the poors are being left behind. But how much is this inequality weighing in on just basic items?
Las Vegas strip casinos are selling bottled water priced at nearly $9 because the only people that are still coming to Vegas are incredibly wealthy.
Is that one of those fancy alkaline waters, or like maybe it's got some gold flakes in it? That is a Aquafina, the most basic bitch of waters. $9. Now that wasn't everywhere.
It's not even a big bottle. It's like a little 16-ounce bottle.
Yeah, it's the standard one. They went as low as $1 from the street vendors, and they range from like $4, $6, but the worst one was $9. I can't remember which casino that was at.
I was say, is it like at a casino where
the Flamingo.
Is it like the casino post hangover shop and then it's $9 for water?
I don't know the Flamingo, but I guess it's a high roller joint.
I'm not sure. Never been to Vegas.
And here's a weird one because this is a reprehensible thing to do, but there is technically no law against it.
Man accused of sharing a fake nude image of his wife did not commit a crime, Ontario judge says. Reprehensible, sure.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? Like, this is what should have happened to that North Carolina woman.
Kinda, yeah. I mean,
I don't see how there's a law on the books for like.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
Again, I think the jury had a lot to do with that other one. So this is just a bench decision here. There was no jury. But yeah, so what happened was this guy took his wife's face and photoshopped it onto existing nudes and sent them to somebody else. And so he ruled that there's no crime there.
That's surprising to me. I guess it's not revenge porn, but it's like...
It's not her.
Yeah.
But it is her face. I don't know.
That's messed up. There probably should be a rule against that.
Do you guys get a McRib every year? Well,
No.
I know Wendell doesn't.
Rip.
No.
No, I don't. I actually don't go to McDonald's a ton.
I think they're okay, but I don't get hyped for them very much.
People love them though.
The problem with McRib is how sloppy it is. You know,
You
like
can't eat that in the car. And usually, if
No,
I'm
yeah.
at a McDonald's, it's like I'm going here because I'm driving somewhere and I need something to eat really fast.
way too much sauce. But people get really hyped for them. It's a brilliant marketing thing to only release them a couple of times a year. And now they've found some correlations, and they're trying to market on that as well.
Will the McDonald's McRib return pump Bitcoin again? We asked the experts. Because there's been a pattern. And, we've been around 100,000 for Bitcoin for quite a while now. Will this be the rally to 1 million? No. Spoiler alert.
Well, the other thing about it is that Bitcoin is very seasonal. Like, they do it this time of year every year. So that probably has more to do with it than the sandwich itself. But who knows? And the doom that lurks in all of our yards, man, I'm so paranoid about this. And this adds a terrifying new layer to my paranoia.
New Jersey man's death is the first one to be tied to tick-related meat allergy.
Alpha gal.
Yeah, this one hits a little close to home. It was anaphylactic shock, basically.
Scary.
His system overreacted to this, and they think that it was from baby ticks and not full-grown ticks.
Larva.
Yeah.
So this guy they never found an actual tick bite, but he was like, oh yeah, I got these chigger bites. If you don't know what chiggers are, they're like these little burrowing creatures that live in the grass in certain parts of the United States.
You go in the wrong part of the woods and then you're itching for like a week straight.
Yeah, it's awful. But there's like, no, those were tick larvae, and they have the same effect.
He might have gotten a bigger dose too if he got that many bites all at once.
Multiple,
Yeah.
So he had a steak, and he was like, wow, I feel terrible. And then the next week he had a burger, and that was it. He was done. I like that University of Minnesota has a taxonomy for tick-borne disease.
Well, they actually have a really good like native plant section of their website. I've been there before.
When it happened to me, it was at the very beginning of the curve. Like, it was like, this is rare, but it happens. And then the next year, like for the checkup, they were like, oh, we've gone from like 4,000 cases a year to like 80,000 cases or whatever.
Whenever I get a weird tick bite, I go to the doctor now and like get a round of antibiotics just to be
Be sure.
We have the tick counter on our whiteboard in our house, and this year it was 10 total. Most of them me. My husband got a couple. Only one doctor visit though. I had one that kind of like swelled and made me a little scared.
They're also a lot more friendly about doing the blood tests, whereas in the beginning it was just like, maybe you should do the blood test. And they're like, you don't have this. And they got the blood test, and they were like, holy crap.
You've got it. Yeah.
I don't know if this was a missort, but we have another cop-related animal story.
Police officer's pig, named Breakfast, barrels through this upstate New York City and attacks a woman. Now, they were an off-duty police officer, but they came with animal control, and it was just chaos. But they eventually did round up the pig.
That's a great name for a pig.
That is a good name for a pig. He craves violence.
And maybe now that the Anunnaki are returning, another hidden entity has decided to make itself known.
Very credible. Bigfoot sighting reported in central Pennsylvania, a researcher has said. The council of Bigfoot, Mothman, and some others are returning.
It's a weird superpower group.
They're going to try to defend us from the Anunnaki. That's what they've been here for all along.
I think Mothman is a chaotic entity because he destroyed that bridge in
He
West
probably did
Virginia.
that to save us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a couple different people reported this, but amazingly, in the world of smartphones, not a single one of them snapped a picture or a video.
I want to believe.
He's out there.
We had a lot of sightings of Bigfoot or a Bigfoot-like creature in eastern Kentucky as well.
There's one in my neighborhood. My neighbors talk about it.
That was probably just hairy guys.
It is very possible that they were just, those folks that like live in caves off the grid. Like, yeah, it's fine. I saw one as a kid, and the thing that spooked me was their foot was insanely hairy. Like the top of their foot was like, and the smell was
Unpleasant.
It was strong.
Better or worse than what you've seen at like a con?
Much worse. It's different. It was a
different sort of smell.
Yeah, it was a very strong. It was as strong as like animal decomposition, but it wasn't that unpleasant. But it was very like musty.
And finally, in the world where everybody just wants to churn out slop, anything that happens with a fun animal gets a story.
Tahoe Bear tests out ice rink ahead of opening day.
What a good bear.
So they're opening this new ski resort. They built this ice rink. They just finished it. No one had been on it. And this guy came around, checking it out.
He's got to get ready for bed.
He approved. I like that they have to have a sign to tell you not to carry your kids around while you're skating.
How many times has someone dropped their kid on the
So
ice?
many times.
And then, they have a lawsuit on their hands.
That would ruin a ski vacation if you saw a child's brain matter splattered onto the ice.
I haven't been ice skating in years.
The ice skates can be really sharp.
That's a deep, dark fear of mine when I used to skate. Like, that, I'd fall and I'd like catch myself and then someone would skate over my fingers.
That happens in hockey sometimes. It's horrific.
It's like my nightmare. Deep, dark fear. Anyway, tell us your deep, dark fears below. Bye!